The Kingdom of Wishes, Chapter 8. Raphael donned his peasant's clothes and visited the castle, making mental notes of the size of the rooms and the length of the hallways and staircases. He came a different route from Asha, for he did not want them to be seen together, and he instructed her not to tell her friends about him and not to show signs of recognition if she happened to see him. On the night before he put his plot into action, he went to Dahlia's house to cast a spell that would cause her to sleep until noon. He explained the steps to Asha several times, but now that her enterprise stared her in the face, she wasn't sure if she was brave enough to go through with it. Her heart was all a tremble, and her knees knocked as she approached the castle doors. When she reached the kitchen, she went straight to the storage room, took one of the Narita fairies from her basket, and put him in the dumbwaiter. "Go to the library and watch through the door," she said. "When King Magnifico leaves the room, come back and let us know." The little fairy nodded and zoomed through the aperture. "Attention," said Raphael. "My name is Raphael, and I am your supervisor today." "I've never seen you before," said Hal, one of the servant girls. "What happened to Dahlia?" "She's ill. She asked me to take her place." At first, the kitchen followed the usual routine. Asha watched the dishes while Raphael made the cookies in Dahlia's place. Simon, Gabo, and Safi unloaded the meat and vegetables, and Hal, Dario, and Bazima prepared the meals. But then, when Raphael went to the storage room, suddenly there was a brief trickle of rain. "Did you feel that?" said Bazima. "Is the roof leaking?" They all looked up for a moment. When there was nothing, they shrugged and resumed their work. Suddenly, the whole ceiling was raining. "Ah!" The servants screamed and tumbled over each other, trying to get away. All except Asha, who stayed close to the sink, waiting for her cue from Raphael. Raphael was still in the storage room, orchestrating a series of disturbances in the castle, depending on which rooms of the map he touched with his wand. In one of the living rooms, there was a blizzard, in another, a hailstorm, in another, thunder and lightning, and still another, a tornado that chased the servants through the halls, screaming and waving their arms. The Narita returned to the storage room, squeaking and nodding vigorously. Raphael interpreted this as a sign the commotion had finally captured the attention of the king, and he had left the library at last. He poked his head out the door, saying, "Come on, it's time!" Asha and Raphael squeezed themselves inside the dumbwaiter and pressed the lever that moved the tray through the walls to the other opening in the king's library. Raphael peeked through the door in the bookshelf to make absolutely sure the room was empty before going in. Lock the doors. Asha ran to the doors and did as she was told. Raphael stood straight and tall in the center of the room. He stretched out his right arm, and a stream of white light poured from his hand, blasting a hole in the glass wall. Shards of glass went everywhere. He grabbed her hand, and they went sailing through the hole into the tower. There were the wishes, still floating peacefully in their dome. Raphael pointed his wand and said, "Bring us Sebastian's wish." A single orb gently floated down. "Get the duffel bag, quick," said Raphael. With trembling hands, Asha opened the bag. As soon as Raphael placed his hands on the wish, it stung him with electricity and flew back to the ceiling. For this was part of Magnifico's magic. The wishes would not respond to the touch of anyone's hands but his own, unless the other person was with him. That was why they did not sting Asha's hands when she was there for her interview. Raphael sprinkled stardust on Asha, and they floated up to the ceiling, where he commanded Sebastian's wish again. When it came in contact with him, he seized it and jammed it into the bag, even though his hands stung like fire. "Tie it quick!" he hollered. Asha did as she was told. As they descended back to the floor, suddenly a new thought occurred to her. "Wait, we should get the other wishes too." "What? Are you crazy? We have to get out of here now." "No, 4 more wishes. Then we can find their rightful owners." "Asha Magnifico will have our heads." "I don't care. If you don't do it, I will." She floated back to the dome and tried to seize the wishes. They received several, or rather, She floated back to the top of a dome and tried to seize the wishes. She received several stings, ouch, ouch, but could not catch a single wish since they did not recognize her touch. Raphael rolled his eyes. He pointed his wand once more. Bring Asha 4 more wishes and make them enter the bag. Asha opened the bag and the 4 wishes floated inside. She took care they did not touch her skin so she would not be burned again. Then she and Raphael returned to the library. Raphael made a motion with his hand and the shards of glass on the floor came back to the wall in a single piece so no one could tell a hole had been made. They dove into the dumbwaiter of a bookshelf, sailed through the tunnel in the wall back into the kitchen. Asha showed Raphael a back door which led them through a hallway to another door that opened outside. Raphael took her hand, and before she knew it, they were flying through the sky once more.